What has happened, y'all? Welcome back to the Bass All Year channel. Today did a little bit of fishing this afternoon and wanted to kind of do this video there at the lake, but the wind is starting to pick up and I didn't really like all the wind noise going on with the microphone, so I decided that we're going to stop and do this at the tackle spot where we usually do a lot of the mystery tackle box videos, tackle unboxing, things of that nature. But it is graduation season, so congratulations to all you guys graduating high school, college, universities, whatever it might be. That is awesome, and it kind of brings us into this like kind of informational talking video. Don't really know how to explain it, but I was responding to a ton of emails this week and weekend, and I got to thinking, and a lot of guys I'm talking to are kind of in the same boat I was back in, when I was in high school, making decision on that next step. What am I going to do after high school? What am I doing after college if I don't know exactly what path I'm going on right now? And I like to connect with a lot of people, especially guys my age that are graduating college, university, or even guys that are a couple years younger. You guys graduating high school and whatnot. And you don't have to be graduating either. You could be in middle school, you could be a junior in high school, senior, sophomore, whatever it might be. And this video, if you don't really want to sit around and listen to me talk, then it might not be the video for you, but I felt this was a really good video to reach out to a lot of people. This week there's not going to be any fishing videos involved in any uploads, so I figured why not start the week off with a nice little talking video and just going through kind of where I was at. Maybe you guys are lost in high school, maybe you're thinking about joining the military, maybe you're thinking about going to a certain college to do something, whether it be play soccer, football, join the bass fishing team. So we're gonna take a stop back and just kind of talk and connect one-on-one just with everybody and kind of put some stuff out. The question I always get is, why didn't I stay bass fishing? Why didn't I stay in the bass fishing scene? And why did I decide to leave to join the Army? That's why that title is Pro Bass Fishing or Join the Military. That's where I was at in high school. Ever since I was young, I've been fascinated with the military, fascinated with the Army. And probably about my sophomore or junior year, I decided to make that jump and get ready to join the armed forces. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to step outside because I don't want to sit down the whole time, and just kind of talk with you guys and kind of talk you around my choice of why I joined the Army and why I didn't pursue bass fishing further. All right, so where do we start here? Got the birds chirping, so this is nice. But I made this video once before when I first started making more vlog type style videos when I was stationed over in Germany. I kind of made my switch back to the YouTube thing. And a lot of people were wondering, why did I join the Army? It was new news to a lot of people, and it still is fresh news. But then again, a lot of people also think that I'm already out and I'm off of active duty, being that I'm still fishing. I'm still going down to Florida to fish, and I'm fishing here in Georgia and whatnot. This is kind of going blank talking about this now. So this might be this might be like a 20-minute video. I don't know exactly until I start editing this thing. I just want to, like I said, talk and directing this towards the graduates. Or you might be 30 years old and you don't really know what's going on in your life and you want to get someone else's word on why they decided to do something. This isn't so much a why I joined the Army type of video, it's kind of why did I set bass fishing to the side and try to prioritize my life in a different matter, so to speak. So as I said, I've always wanted to join the military. I think in my head I was going to do it no matter what. I was going to get my 4-year enlistment in. And being that I'm transitioning out of the Army now, I'm getting out in July, there's a lot of other things I'm looking forward to and a lot of things I hope can happen in the future. So if you're in that boat, I kind of want to connect with you a little bit, take you back to my 17, 18-year-old self. I was a big lacrosse player in high school, got a couple offers to college, but I didn't really want to make that step to college. It wasn't something I was ready to do. It wasn't something I really wanted to do. I felt more like I wanted to lean towards the military. And again, I'm not pushing the military on you by any means. I'm just trying to help you connect into if you're in that boat of making a choice. I really wanted to go and fish in college. That was something I wanted to do, but I didn't want the college side of it. So do I make a jump and do I start entering into the professional world? BASS and FLW offer highways for you to try to qualify into the professional world. And financially, I wasn't there either. And I was, fishing for me was always just something I kind of did on my own. I didn't have a dad that fished. I didn't have a brother. None of my siblings really grew up fishing. It was kind of just myself. I'm the youngest sibling. There's always an airplane flying over me to try to do a video on an Army base, right? I enlisted 9 months out from when I shipped off to basic training. I was in the delayed entry program for 9 months. Basically, I was literally waiting to graduate high school to go to boot camp. And then I got 2 months in the summertime to kind of sit back, relax, work a little bit before I shipped off to boot camp. And in that time, I really got to sit and think, you know, I had 9 months, is this really a decision? And I had people up to the month I left saying, you know, make sure it's really what you want to do, because you're not fully committed until the day you commit and you go down and you get on that bus to leave. There were a couple things I want to prioritize for myself. One was just accomplishing being in the military. Like I said, that was one. I can go to school when I'm done. I can get back to bass fishing. There were things that I was able to put to the side that I didn't feel were a priority for me. Now, looking back at it, the way the YouTube game has just absolutely exploded, of course I wish I would have stayed by, but you can't think of life like that, because what if I would have stayed bass fishing and doing the YouTube thing full time, and 2 years down the road it slowed down, and then I'd be like, I wish I would have just joined the Army. I would have been 2 years into it. And that was my mentality coming out of high school. You know, life gets in the way. You'll learn that as you get older. Things happen. Certain goals that you want to do might not happen when you want them to happen. They might happen a month, 6 months, 6 years down the road. So I knew if I was going to do this Army thing, I was going to do it now. In January of 2014, I signed my 4-year enlistment contract in the Army, and I didn't ship off to basic training until a few weeks before my 19th birthday, that following September of 2014. Now, fast forward about 2 years to April of 2016, I was stationed in Germany. I was in another country living in a tent for 3 months with minimum power and all this, you know, fancy stuff that you get to do when you go to other countries in the Army. That's when the YouTube thing really blew up. That's when a lot of the guys you see now, the Guggen Squad, John B, you know, that's when all that stuff really ignited. I mean, it went from like a couple thousand to these guys were shooting up 40,000 subscribers in a week. So that's when stuff really got big and really started gaining its momentum and gaining its control. And I remember like April of 16, you know, everybody started making videos, and it kind of just flooded the YouTube market. And that's what I was concerned about back in high school. I was worried that what if this becomes something so big? Because at one point in my little Bass All Year life, when I was younger, I mean, I could upload a fishing video and it have tens of thousands of views. I was more views over John Beals, more videos, and he always had subscribers. So me and him, we were always battling out. Like, he was always like 5,000 subscribers higher than me. And believe it or not, I've known him since he was at like 1,100 subscribers. We both kind of came into YouTube at the same time, and we were kind of the only two like making videos. But that's off track. But that was my mentality in high school, was what if this YouTube thing doesn't go where I think it's gonna go? It was making decent money back then for in high school, but definitely not something like the money I could be making in the military, set myself up for the future. And what I want you to sit down and think behind, whether you're watching this on a computer or phone, what is it that you really want to do? You have to understand the fishing thing, that's a full-time commitment. Put that in one bubble, put your second choice, whether it's the military, going to work, whatever it might be that you're bobbling between, and get a piece of paper and write out the pros and the cons on each side. I did that, I mean, 10 or 12 times before I even left for the Army. Why do I want to do the Army? What is it going to do for me? Why do I want to do bass fishing? What is it going to do for me? And then in the middle, what am I losing? If I go to the Army, sacrificing time away from my family, friends, fishing, not going to be home. Staying bass fishing, I'm going to be bass fishing. I'm not going to be joining the Army like one of my, you know, mental goals was back then. Take a step back and really think outside the bubble. I mean, that's what you have to do. Oh, I want to get a 4-year business degree, and I want to get out and I want to sell cars, or I want to be my own company. I want to start my own clothing company, whatever it might be. Measure out those pros and cons to the other choice that you might be having doing. For me, pro bass fishing, I had to put that to the side. Now, I kind of say that's a very cliche statement, but you can't say pro YouTuber or anything like that. It kind of sounds weird. So taking on professional fishing and taking on military thing wasn't something I could do at the same time. Obviously, I'm trying to do it now that I've been in Georgia for the last year and a half, but in Germany it wasn't possible. There was carp fishing, but we were rotating through this country that we're going to every couple of months, so there really wasn't any type of commitment for me to be able to do YouTube full-time, really make it happen. I tried, and it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, it still is really hard, and it's a big financial bust to do it now too. And I was responding to an email, and he was asking, you know, what do you think would have happened if you would have stuck with YouTube instead of joining the Army? He's wanted to join the Navy. He's got a YouTube channel. He enjoys tournament fishing. And I told him straight up, for me, I was like, I didn't see it being a realistic goal at 18, making it 4 years into professional bass fishing. I said, I didn't have a job that I could just start climbing into these pro tournaments. I couldn't afford a professional, you know, start fishing professionally. Of course, there's co-angling and all that stuff. And the biggest thing for me is I sat and I prioritized the military for me. It is best suited for me. Now, the big thing is sacrifice. And you're not just gonna be sacrificing things if you're joining the Army or college. Any choice you make, you're probably sacrificing something. This video is this is a little harder than I thought it was gonna be. Talking, like I've got so many thoughts, I don't know how to put them in words. But we're at like the 10-minute mark. I mean, at the end of the day, life is what you make it. Nobody owes you nothing, so don't go into something thinking anything's gonna be handed to you. There's a couple people out there where things like that you know, people get things handed down to them that it helps them and it prioritizes other different goals that they might have. Most of you are coming out of high school, and I was in that boat, didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't know what I wanted to do. And it's all right to say that, it's all right to admit to that. It's tough, you gotta kind of swallow some ego when you're doing that. But if something is kind of in your way and you want someone else of your age, I feel like people can connect to another young guy. Because when I captain young anglers, there's something that you're kind of debating, and it doesn't have to be military. Obviously that's where I can help you the best, because I don't have a college degree, I never went to college. So if you're trying to make that jump into the military and you have a lot of questions about it, shoot me a message on Instagram, Bass All Year Fishing. You can shoot a message through that. I respond to every message, so that's a dead honest for me. I mean, people can comment below and verify that I do respond to every message. All of us here that are fishermen, whatever it might be, of course we'd love to be a professional angler. That is a goal. That was a goal of mine. You know, it's still in sight, but I have a lot of realism. I'm a very realistic person. That goal is probably not going to happen for a couple of years. If I can make that happen, I understand it's, you know, it's between the ears, full-on fledged. That's a tunnel vision goal that you got to have. It's not just going to happen one day. You're not just going to fish an open event and qualify for the Elite Series. That's not how it works. I mean, for some guys it's years and obviously lots of hard work. And if you need someone just to kind of reach out and you're wanting to join the military and you don't know whether you should do the college route, get that piece of paper, weigh out your pros and cons, and that way you see visually what's going on. It's not just in your head, because a lot of the time we like to paint false pictures of the future especially, and a lot of the time things don't pan out that way. Like I said, life can get in the way. 100 different things could happen in your year that keeps you from getting a certain goal. So just make sure you're painting a truthful picture to yourself. Measure out your pros and cons. At this point in your life, you're the one that can make something happen for you. Not to be here and like slam motivation or like inspiration in your face, but at the end of the day, for me, I had to leave home at 18. I found myself overseas in Germany for 2 years, lost and confused for the first like 6 months. I had a great leadership over there that really set me straight, and I could really learn a lot from them. They helped me with coming back stateside here. You know, all the leadership goals I learned there, I was able to acquire more here and put those into more skill. I'm an engineer in the Army, so I have those skills that I can fall back on now. Obviously, fishing is going to be a part of my life for the rest of my life, and it could be the same thing for you. So don't sit on something, don't sit on one idea, have a plan B. And you know, I wanted to join the Army. That was something I wanted to do, and I was willing to sacrifice that bass fishing side of my life to be a part of something that was bigger than myself, joining the Army. Be in the military for 4 years, gain all that knowledge, gain all those skills that I can learn in the Army, and then come out of the Army and place myself in a better future for working towards those goals in the bass fishing world. Sacrifice it's a big thing to me. It's something I've really learned over the years, and it might sound cliche or I don't know, some other crazy word to describe it. I can look back and I can say that I was confident in that decision, and everything that I thought would happen back 4 years ago, it's pretty much set straight. You know, the Army really helped me financially for myself, but I was able to, you know, grow a bank account. I was able to save a lot of money, buy a truck, buy a boat. You know, all these things I was able to do on my own just by joining the military. This is all stuff I wanted to do, and it was all goals I had coming into the Army. So I knew joining the Army, I had certain goals I wanted to do within the Army that I could come back and take with me when I left the military. And that's the biggest thing is once you have a plan and you've got a tunnel vision on what you're trying to do, man, you're unstoppable. I'm telling you that right now. You've got something, you've got a plan that you want to do, and you have the goals and you have the reasons for those goals, and in your mind, you know, I want to use myself for example. I want to join the Army because I want to buy a truck, I want to buy a boat, and I want to set myself up for success 4 years down the road when I get out of the Army. Boom, you got it. And you can't be stopped after that. And furthermore, once I was in the Army, I knew what I wanted to do when I was getting back out. So everything is kind of like a staircase of life, so to speak. You're graduating high school, you're graduating college, whatever it might be, you're ready to make that next step. But in between that next step, you're a little lost. Your brain's kind of going fuzzy on you, and you kind of need that little extra push. And a lot of you can just look at me like, oh, what is this 22-year-old? No, he's in the Army, whatever. I get that, but there's a lot of people I think that can relate to someone like myself, and it's the whole thing going back to talking with young people. I think you can connect with young people, because when I was 18 and I was connecting with 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, I was able to see the light more, so to speak. I have so much to say, I don't really know how to put it into words, so this video might seem like it's going somewhere and then it goes nowhere, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm trying to at least clarify some things for you, which is my ultimate goal. You got my Instagram. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy this style of video. If you do, leave it a thumbs up, comment below. And if you didn't like it, I'm sorry, this is just something I'm reaching out to other people. and there's plenty more videos back to the normal scheme of things, tackle videos, fishing, all that coming your way. So until next video, thanks for staying tuned. Catch you right back on the Bass Loader channel. Y'all take it easy. See ya.